porn store, right? In my neighborhood, hood ratchet, fucked up. My grandma one-bedroom house. I had 3 little brothers.
The man accused of the brother of Memphis rapper Blac Youngsta has died.
You show your money to show like you really come from where you come from and you made it that far?
Yeah, cause like a lot of people don't understand. Like I smiled every day because it was a time I couldn't smile.
Blac Youngsta, a rapper out of South Memphis, came up from some seriously tough conditions, pushing through a dangerous past, growing up with almost nothing, and grinding hard to build a life beyond one of the roughest neighborhoods in America. But even all of that struggle still didn't prepare him for what was coming next. Between 2016 and 2023, 3 of his brothers lost their lives in violent situations, one after the other, and not a single case brought the kind of justice or closure it should have. What makes it even more painful is that at least 2 of them had no involvement in street life at all. They were just living day to day, trying to stay on the right path. So how does someone keep losing the people closest to them, no matter how much they try to protect them? To really understand this story, you have to go all the way back to the beginning, because the way Blac Youngsta grew up explains a lot of what came later. He was born April 8, 1990 in Memphis, Tennessee, and raised on McMillan Street in South Memphis. His childhood was far from easy. His mother struggled with addiction and couldn't properly care for the kids, and his father wasn't around, leaving a huge void in their lives.
A Memphis man wanted for is finally behind bars tonight after being captured by U.S. Marshals. 28-year-old Randy Ewing was taken into custody in Parkway Village last night after he was spotted by U.S. Marshals and the MPD fugitive team in the area of Crichton Avenue. He was wanted on second-degree charges for the shooting in August of Temanuel Benson, the brother of Memphis rapper Blac Youngsta. Ewing will be in court tomorrow for his arraignment.
That meant his grandparents, Miss Ida and Mr. Harold Benson, stepped in and took everyone in, doing the best they could with limited income from Social Security. Even with their efforts, there were times when the families simply didn't have enough food to go around. Most of the time, this wasn't just about getting tired of eating the same meals. It went way deeper than that. Kids going to sleep hungry, with nothing to hold them over until morning. Blac Youngsta has spoken about this in interviews, and the details are tough to hear, even harder to picture. He came up with a clever but desperate way to get food. Right before closing time, he'd have someone call in a fake order to a store, knowing nobody would come pick it up. When it sat there untouched, workers would offer him the leftovers so it wouldn't go to waste. The crazy part is they never realized the order was connected to him the whole time. As he got older, around 12 or 13...
But like, every night I have somebody call the store, order food, like, man, I want chili cheese fries, hamburgers and everything, but I know it was a false call for me and my brothers to eat. So I know at the end of the night they're gonna be like, huh, you want the leftovers? They ain't come get it. So you want the food? I be like, yeah, but they don't even know. I already had people call. Sometimes you've been in the bathroom and call. I want to order 3 cheeseburgers, this right here, woo, and they later on the night, don't nobody come get the food. They be looking like, and then nobody come get this, so you can go and take it with you. But the whole time
he started getting involved in street hustles, trying to make money however he could. He's admitted that he was selling to people close to him, even within his own circle, which shows just how bad things had gotten. He also spoke about finessing, meaning sometimes he'd sell low-quality or fake product just to survive. That lifestyle came with serious consequences, constant danger, run-ins with the law, and short stays behind bars. But he kept going back because he didn't see another option. Before anyone outside Memphis even knew his name, he had already picked up multiple charges tied to illegal activity. One of the earliest times he got caught in a dangerous situation like that, he was only around 8 or 9 years old. After he and his friends got into a conflict with an older man in the neighborhood, things escalated later when that man came back with a weapon. Around 2012 or 2013, everything changed in a serious way. He was standing on his own block when people from a rival neighborhood drove through and opened fire, and he ended up getting hit 3 times, twice in the leg and once in the arm. Even in that moment, his mindset showed how deep he was in that life, because instead of calling for medical help...
Benson was down outside of a BP gas station on South Parkway East last August. Before the court documents say Benson and Ewing were seen arguing. Once Benson turned away, Ewing allegedly in the back of the head and then fired into a vehicle. Another man was also shot.
His first move was to call a friend and ask for a weapon so he could respond immediately. Through all this chaos, music slowly started becoming more important to him. He'd been rapping since he was young, but it always came second while the streets demanded most of his attention. In 2012, he began throwing block parties in South Memphis, some in memory of a friend who had lost his life, and those events started building his name locally before his music even reached a wider audience. That same year, he dropped his first mixtape, Fast Bricks, and things finally started shifting in a better direction, step by step. But then 2016 came through and flipped everything upside down. His younger brother, Ronnie Benson, known as Ronnie B, lost his life in Memphis during a violent incident. The exact date was never clearly confirmed in public records, but messages and tributes from Blac Youngsta started appearing around mid-August, with a more detailed post showing up later in November. No one was ever taken into custody, no suspect was publicly identified, and the situation barely got attention in the media.
Early morning shooting at the BP on South Parkway, leaves one man that still got his car out here, man. Check on your people, the hood out here. Black will know.
Part of the reason is that Memphis recorded around 200 homicide cases that year. And in South Memphis, many of those stories were reduced to names people quickly scrolled past without a second thought. What made Ronnie's loss even heavier is that Blac Youngsta had spent years trying to guide his younger brother away from this exact kind of situation, doing everything he could to protect him from that path. In November 2016, Blac Youngsta made a birthday post on Facebook for Ronnie, and what he wrote hit with raw emotion that's hard to even process. One line really stands out: "I miss you so much." He didn't hold anything back in that message. He shared how deeply the loss affected him, admitting he struggled emotionally and even wished he could have taken his loved one's place. The message really shows the weight of his grief. You can feel it in every word, the kind of pain that doesn't fade overnight. He also shared that he had turned his life around, saying he was done with robbery and drug dealing, and that he had worked hard to keep his two younger brothers away from that lifestyle.
28-year-old Randy Ewing sinks into his seat upon hearing he has a $1 million bond in connection to the of Tamanuel Benson.
You've also been charged with an A felony, second-degree murder. That carries 15 to 60 years if you are.
No one was ever taken into custody. No suspect was publicly identified, and the situation barely got attention in the media. Part of the reason is that Memphis recorded around 200 homicide cases that year, and in South Memphis, many of those cases were reduced to names people scrolled past without a second thought. What made Ronnie's loss even heavier is that Blac Youngsta had spent years trying to guide his younger brother away from this exact kind of situation, doing everything he could to protect him from that path. In November 2016, Blac Youngsta made a birthday post on Facebook for Ronnie, and what he wrote hit with raw emotion that's hard to process. One line really stands out: "I miss you so much." He didn't hold anything back. He shared just how deeply the loss affected him, admitting he struggled emotionally and wished he could have taken his loved one's place. The message shows the weight of his grief. You can feel it in every word, the kind of pain that doesn't disappear overnight. He also shared that he had turned his life around, saying he was done with robbery and drug dealing, and that he had worked hard to keep his two younger brothers away from that lifestyle. At that point,
in my neighborhood, hood ratchet, fucked up. My grandma one-bedroom house. I had 3 little brothers and shit. So like I worked in the store, but I was young, so they come just give me I wasn't no real job. But they still slaving the shit out, made me clean the floor, do the dishes, stock the drinks, line them up and shit. But I was working at the store. They thought I wasn't getting paid. I probably got $10 there, 2-3 days. But I really did it for the food.
I used to work at the corner store, right? In my neighborhood, hood rats up. My grandma wouldn't be around the house. I had 3 little brothers, and so like I wasn't in the store, but I was young. so they couldn't just give me no real job. They still had me working though, cleaning the floors, washing dishes, stocking drinks, lining everything up, but I was working in the store. They thought I wasn't getting paid. I probably got like $10 a day, 2-3 days, but I really did it for the food. For food, because we ain't had nothing to eat, me and my little brothers. 2 brothers was still here, and he was locked in on protecting them no matter what. Instead of letting that pain break him, he poured it straight into his music. He had almost walked away from a mixtape he had already invested in, but something pulled him back and pushed him to finish it. He dropped a track called Heavy, and that song started gaining serious attention, eventually catching the ear of Yo Gotti, who brought him on the Collective Music Group in 2015. For a moment, it looked like he had made it out and kept the promise he made to Ronnie, but the story didn't end there, and the pressure on his family wasn't over yet. Heavy Camp, also known as Heavy Champ, was his older brother and one of the artists signed under Blac Youngsta's own Heavy Camp Records imprint built under CMG. Unlike Ronnie B, who stayed completely away from music, TD was stepping into the rap scene himself, following a similar path while trying to build his own identity and name. In December 2018, he dropped an album called Patience, a 10-track project that hit all major streaming platforms. Earlier that same year, he also released a single titled We Get a Bag and stayed active on Instagram pushing his music right when the album dropped. People who were really paying attention started saying Heavy Camp had something real, like genuine talent in the booth that couldn't be ignored. Everything was starting to line up. He was building momentum, gaining attention, and for the first time, it looked like the Benson family might have 2 brothers making serious moves in the music industry.
The brother of Memphis rapper Blac Youngsta has Randy Ewing Jr. faced several charges, including voluntary manslaughter and being a felon in possession of a handgun. He was out on bond when he died yesterday, but the cause of his death remains a mystery tonight. Blac Youngsta's brother, Emmanuel Benson, was shot in August of 2023. Police caught up with Ewing
But he never got the chance to see how far it could go. On June 9th, 2019, Heavy Camp P lost his life in a violent incident in Miami, Florida. And that's where the public details suddenly slowed down in a major way. After that, it was almost complete silence. No clear answers came out about what really happened, whether it was targeted, a situation that escalated, or something completely unexpected. No witnesses were publicly identified, and no surveillance details were ever shared. The original report from Urban Islands, published on June 11, 2019, confirmed he was Blac Youngsta's brother and stated he had lost his life in a Miami incident, and that was pretty much all the public got. When it comes to the investigation, there was barely any visible follow-up. The Miami-Dade Police Department didn't release detailed public updates about the case, and it faded into that same quiet space where many cases end up each year, especially when they don't stay in the headlines. What stands out even more is how differently Blac Youngsta reacted to this loss compared to Ronnie's. After Ronnie passed, he shared a long, emotional message filled with detail, love, and pain. But this time, things felt a lot quieter and harder to read from the outside. When Heavy Camp P lost his life, Blac Youngsta handled the grief in a much more silent way. There were reports claiming that after this situation, he started tightening up his security, moving differently because he felt like something wasn't right. It started to feel like his family was being singled out.
Spent months tracking Ewing down, even offering a $5,000 reward. 6 months later, officers had a break in the case. U.S. Marshals found Ewing walking on Creighton Avenue. Many people we spoke to say they had seen Ewing throughout the neighborhood, but had no idea he was a wanted man. Court documents say Ewing attempted to run into this home. After multiple warnings, officer released a canine, and Ewing was taken into custody after being treated at a hospital.
Whether that fear was directed at someone specific or just built up from everything going on around him, nobody ever said it outright. At the same time, his public image didn't really shift on the surface. He was still showing that bigger-than-life energy people knew him for. Flashy Instagram moments, stacks of cash on display, jewelry everywhere, and a presence that demanded attention every time he stepped out. But behind all that, something clearly deeper was going on. He's always said the happiness he shows is real, But it's also built on real pain, and that balance started feeling heavier than ever before. The truth about making it out of South Memphis is simple. It doesn't mean everyone around you escapes with you. Even if one person makes it, it doesn't automatically lift the whole family out. Heavy Camp P's music is still up on Spotify today, and after everything, Blac Youngsta kept pushing, still working, still dropping music, still building Heavy Camp records. But the version of him that came out after losing 2 brothers in just a few years was carrying something much heavier, something you can't just shake off. And at that point, there was still one more brother, his youngest, left in the picture, and the story still wasn't over. The youngest, Tremanuel, was born April 12, 1996, making him 27 years old at the time of his passing. Unlike Blac Youngsta and Heavy Camp TD, who were pulled into street life early before turning to music, Emmanuel stayed completely private. He was engaged to a woman named Mykesha Lott, who has spoken publicly about him since his passing.
I got you.
Blac Youngsta just pulled out a bunch of money, $200,000 and a money counter.
I'm gonna let y'all run through this with me. I broke it from getting money.
All right.
Oh my God.
He's pulling out his cash counter.
When you get some money, you gonna break it.
All right.
You know how they go.
Your guy is like this guy right here. I did this when I was.
This the auto hustle though. You know what I mean?
That's how we do it every year.
All right, I'm watching.
You see that? You feel me?
Hey.
Oh.
If it falls on the floor, we keep it.
Yeah, if it falls on the floor, the strippers keep it.
Hold on.
The strippers.
The strippers keep it.
Oh.
All right.
Goodness gracious. Oh, you ain't gotta count it all. We believe you.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Make sure it's there.
Okay, it says $9.
Keep going. It's $9.
I just want to make sure now.
Where's the bill tester? We got the bill tester in here. Make sure they real.
Oh, that's all.
It's all
What
real.
did 10?
Yeah, that 10 right there.
Oh my gosh.
That's a 10 right there.
Somebody pass me my...
She made it very clear who he really was. She described him as the backbone of their family and even called him a hero in their South Memphis community. She also shut down any narrative trying to reduce him to just being Blac Youngsta's younger brother. In her eyes, he had his own identity and stood on his own. He also had a son who shared emotional words about his father in that same interview. The boy said, "I always loved my dad. Anytime anything happened, he was there to protect me. I loved him a lot. If anything went wrong, I'd call him and he'd come save the day." Those words hit hard and paint a picture of a man who showed up for his family no matter what. On the morning of August 18, 2023, he was on the phone with Mykesha when he told her he was about to stop by the store real quick. That was the last time she heard his voice around 9:30 that morning. Emmanuel lost his life in a violent incident at a BP gas station located at 583 South Parkway East in South Memphis. Early reports suggested a possible drive-by, but that didn't hold up. Later court affidavits detailed something much more direct and personal. According to documents filed with Shelby County Court, witnesses said Emmanuel got into an argument with another man at the gas station. At some point, he turned away, and the other man pulled a handgun and fired, striking him from behind. The situation didn't end there. The shooter then turned toward a nearby vehicle and kept firing, injuring a woman named Epstein in her back and left leg, and also shooting toward a man named Jay Calhoun, who was inside that same car. After everything unfolded, this case didn't just shake the family, it hit the entire community. News spread quickly across Memphis, with people trying to understand how this same family kept being hit by tragedy again and again. For many, it didn't feel random anymore. It started to feel like a painful pattern that just wouldn't stop. Authorities later confirmed a suspect had been identified and taken into custody, giving at least some progress to the case. Reports say the investigation moved fast once witness statements and evidence were reviewed, but even that didn't undo the damage already done. For those closest to Emmanuel, no arrest or update could ever bring him back. What makes it even heavier is looking at the full timeline. 3 brothers gone in just a few years, each case surrounded by confusion, pain, and unanswered questions. It's the kind of reality that's hard to process, especially when you remember that some of them were simply living their lives, staying out of trouble, and focusing on their own path. And through it all, Blac Youngsta kept standing, kept moving forward, but clearly carrying a weight most people could never imagine. Because at a certain point, it's no longer just about success or music. It becomes about survival, loss, and holding on to whatever family is left, even when everything around you keeps falling apart. Emmanuel Benson was pronounced dead at the scene, marking another heartbreaking moment for the family. Mykesha Lott believes she understands what led up to the situation. She told BREG that she thinks Emmanuel saw someone trying to take her truck and stepped in to confront him. At the same time, she's been very clear shutting down online rumors, especially anything linking Emmanuel's death to Blac Youngsta's past with Young Dolph or any rap-related beef. She addressed it directly, saying, "This has nothing to do with that. I knew blogs would run with it. We can end all that. None of his brother's deaths had anything to do with the Young Dolph situation." Her message was firm, making it clear she didn't want misinformation spreading or the story being twisted. 2 days after the incident, Blac Youngsta posted on his Instagram story, and it wasn't polished at all. It was pure, raw emotion in real time. The kind of message that comes from someone who's been through this pain repeatedly and is barely holding it together. He wrote, "I love you, baby brother. Rest up. I'm going to make the world pay. I swear to God, nobody is safe. Standing over everybody. Everybody. I'm ready for whatever comes with this. It's okay. Don't feel sorry for me. I'm not going to feel sorry for nobody. Only God knows. Life will never be the same, but God got me. I'm the strongest man in the world." Following the incident, Memphis police opened an investigation and announced a $5,000 reward for any information that could help move the case forward. Authorities later identified a suspect as Randy Darnell Ewing Jr., marking a major development in a case that had already shaken many. A 28-year-old Memphis man was named, and officials released his details and a wanted poster, asking the public to help locate him. The search continued for months with no clear resolution until federal authorities stepped in. On August 31, 2023, the U.S. Marshals Two Rivers Violent Fugitive Task Force officially joined the investigation, working with Memphis police and Shelby County deputies. Then, on February 13, 2024, they finally tracked him down. Reports say he tried to run, but a canine unit named Marco quickly caught him. He was found carrying a handgun and taken to the hospital for evaluation before being booked into Shelby County Jail. The charges were serious, including multiple violent offense allegations, weapon use during a felony, failure to meet registry requirements, and other firearm-related violations. Investigators also revealed he had a prior 2014 conviction which required him to be on a registry he allegedly failed to update. His bond was set at $1 million, showing just how serious the case was. For a moment, it looked like the family might finally get some form of accountability. But just when things seemed to move toward answers, another unexpected twist came that added even more weight to an already heavy story. On May 23, 2024, while out on bond, Ronnie Darnell Ewing Jr. lost his life, bringing yet another shocking turn. Memphis police opened an investigation, but very few details were released about what actually happened. Because he passed before trial, the charges tied to Emmanuel's case were dropped under a legal rule called abatement by death. The Shelby County Court officially closed the case on September 16, 2024, leaving no trial, no verdict, and no traditional closure for the family. Looking at everything together, it's a painful pattern that's hard to ignore. Ronnie B. in 2016 with no arrest, Heavy Camp in 2019 with no publicly named suspects, and Emmanuel in 2023 where the accused died before court. Every case ended without real accountability, leaving more questions than answers. Sadly, this isn't uncommon in Memphis, which recorded 351 homicide cases in 2023 alone, the highest in its history, with firearm-related violence far above the national average. Through all of this, Blac Youngsta has continued turning his pain into music, using it as his outlet like he always has, even as the weight of everything continues to follow him. Music became more than a career. It became survival, expression, and release. People around him noticed the shift too. Same energy, but more focused, more serious, less about flash and more about reality. The losses didn't just affect his personal life, they changed how he moves, who he trusts, and how he sees everything around him. And when you step back, it's bigger than just one artist or one family. It reflects a deeper reality many people come from but rarely talk about openly. Survival, loss, success, and pressure all colliding at once, where even making it out doesn't mean you're free from where you came from. Through it all, he's still here, still working, still standing despite everything trying to break him. But at this point, the story isn't just about success anymore. It's about everything he's had to carry and how it continues shaping every move he makes. He dropped an album called Black Sheep 2 in September 2023, just weeks after Emmanuel passed, and the weight is clearly felt throughout the project. Every track carries emotion, like he's releasing everything he's been holding inside. He also released Long Live, where he mentions Ronnie B and Heavy Camp by name, openly expressing grief and loss. In another track, Dear Grandma from his 2022 album I'm Innocent, he spoke directly to Miss Ida about everything they endured. He said, "Dear Grandma, I love you so much. You was with me when nobody was with me. My grandma was my mama and my mama was my daddy." That line alone explains everything about how he was raised and who really held him together. He's also admitted something deeply personal. He still hasn't visited Ronnie's grave. He covered the funeral costs and still sends flowers, but says he just isn't ready yet. That detail alone shows just how deep the pain runs. 3 brothers gone, and life still moves like nothing changed, which makes it even harder to process. So what do you think about all this? Was this a targeted pattern or just tragic coincidence? Drop your thoughts below. And if you watched till the end, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories like this.